increase in the amount of Viagra emails I've seen. I'm not sure what the people are trying to tell me. Are you next? I'm sure, I can't remember. I thought you were fourth. Or are you fourth now?
Oh, yeah, you could go.
Tim it is. Look at that, losing my temper. Okay, with a speech entitled Tackling Table Topics Terror for the TLI, please welcome Tim Wilson.
Imagine this. Just agreed to a table topic. Come up to the front of the room. Person gives you the question. And as you look out of the sea of faces around the room, you suddenly think to yourself, what am I going to talk about? How do I connect with this audience? You ever had that happen? Yeah. Yeah. It happens to everybody. It even happens to experienced speakers. People have been speaking a long time, get up there to a table topic, and all of a sudden, it's like a different world. It's like something completely different. I know I've been around Toastmasters a long time, and until very recently, when I got up there in table topics, it's always a challenge. Didn't know what to do. Now, of course, since I'm a Toastmasters, I think everything's got to be somewhere in the Toastmasters manual. I mean, everything I need to know, I learned in Toastmasters. So I started looking through the manual about table topics. I said, in 1 to 2 minute speech, and that was pretty much it. Now, I'm a DTM, which, as you know, means don't teach me. I pretty much know everything's going on, but I was kind of puzzled here. Not really. You ever had that happen where you just look at it, it just doesn't make any sense to you, and you look through all the manuals and stuff, and you can't find the answer? Had that happen? That's where I was. I started going through, and I decided to do the heresy. I decided to go outside of Toastmasters. Decided to check on these people called the World Champions of Public Speaking, and they're called the World Champions of Public Speaking because they went all the way through the International Speech Contest, all the way to the top, and they won the International Speech Contest for that year. There's Darren LaCroix, and there's Mark, and there's Craig Valentine, and people like that. And they kept talking about this importance of the parts of a speech. They kept on going on and talking about parts of a speech. I didn't know what the heck that meant. I kept checking my Toastmasters manual again. It wasn't in there. So I went to my Toastmasters mentor and I said, do you believe it? Here are these guys, you know, championships of public speaking, and they're talking about parts of a speech. It's not in my Toastmasters manual. What sort of stupidity are these guys talking about? I mean, it's just really a waste of my time. It's no value. And my mentor turned to me and said, Tim, since they are the World Championships of Public Speaking, and they do get paid approximately $1,000 every time they speak, maybe they know what the heck they're talking about. At a point. I started looking at it some more and trying to understand what the parts of a speech are and studying it. And the more I studied it, and the more I looked at it, the more I realized that understanding the parts of a speech is important. It is key. And it can change the whole way you look at speaking. As I started looking at it, there came that moment where I finally understood what they were trying to say. You ever have that moment, you finally get it? Have that rush? You feel, wow, I got to that moment. I finally got it. I finally understood. And it is very important to understand. Now, I know it's not in the Toastmasters manual. It's not something Toastmasters talks about. But it's something that's very important for table topics. In fact, as you'll find out shortly, table topics are kind of outside the Toastmasters world. It's almost like its own separate country out there. There's certain parts of the speech we focus on, we naturally focus on, and it kind of gets all of our attention. But table topics over here is completely different. It's completely foreign. It's completely unnatural in some ways. So I want to take you on this journey into understanding more about this strangeness of table topics. Because it's not like a regular speech. It just isn't. When you go up there and somebody asks you, what are you going to talk about? And all of a sudden, you may be a great speaker, you've been speaking before, you've been doing public speaking, and then you get the table topics and you get that moment of that question, and all of a sudden, you just don't know what to say. All of a sudden, it's different. Even once you're prepared, you're not as prepared for this. So I want to talk some more about how that works. And you will discover that there is a procedure for going through and doing off-the-cuff speeches. You don't have to just make it up. There is a step-by-step procedure we'll talk about. You'll find out that there's one magic word that's not used enough by speakers. A magic word which can open you up and help you interconnect with your audience. And there's one thing every speaker should do when they get up there. One thing a speaker should think about and try to do, and if they're able to do that, they'll be able to connect with their audience like never before. And you learn all of those things in the next 30 minutes or so. Trust me.
Thank you very much, Tim.